Hello. So in this video I'll be going over how to merge the RPG skills with dynamic combat system. We're going to be doing all three combat types, but it can be done without all three, and you could just erase any one of the three that you don't have, either melee, range, or magic. So here I've opened the advanced RPG skills. I've got the one I've already merged just as a reference to have it up while I'm doing the tutorial. And here I've got a blank dynamic combat system project. So we're going to open up the advanced RPG skills, and you want to migrate it to your project. And we can go ahead and close that down. And now in our dynamic combat system, we should have the advanced RPG skills here. So first thing we want to do is we want to open up the dynamic combat system folder, open blueprints, and open the BP combat character. Scroll down to the bottom of the components tab, and if you just drag this tab down here so you can access your content browser. Let's go to the advanced RPG skills, open blueprints and components, and we want to just drag the advanced skills component right into the components tab here in the combat character, and then compile and save. We don't need the AI stats or player stats because DCS already has their own stat component all set up. So now in here, if you have the advanced skills selected, you can set a level cap for the skills. This will affect all the skills. You can go into the blueprint and change them individually if needed. It's not really hard to do that. I just felt this was the easiest way to do it because typically most of the time all the skills would have the same cap. And then you can set a starting level and the melee XP needed to level up. The higher you set this number to, the higher it's going to also scale per level. And I felt 100 was a good fit, but you could lower that or increase it depending on how hard you want your game to be to level up. And you got the bonus XP here. This one, if you set something here, it's gonna be set like all the time until you get a bonus XP item. It will add bonus XP and then it will remove it back to 0. It's not really meant to be set here, but it's just here. So that's usually best just kept as 0. And the bonus XP items, when you overlap them, they spawn a particle attached to the player and just give you a certain amount as a percentage of extra XP. So if it was 250%, you'd get 2.5 times the amount of XP you normally would every time you get XP until that effect fades out. Okay. So now let's open up the RPG character in the character blueprint folder. We don't need any of the combat events, except actually some of the special attacks I will show you guys how to move over also. I'll probably do separate videos though, so I don't drag this one on too long. We don't need that. So the only thing we'll use in here is the special attacks because they do move over to DCS. The melee one, it kicks the enemy back by a certain distance, whatever you set it to. The range special will rain down a bunch of arrows. And the magic one spawns a orb that heals the player over time. Okay, we will need the event tick one. We can move the crouch over also if needed. We just need animations for it. Sorry. Okay. This we'll want to change to another button, as tab is the lock on. We don't need to create HUD or that, so we don't need begin play either. Perfect. So all we need from the character here is the toggle skills page and the event. So go ahead and highlight both of those and copy them. And then just paste them inside the BP combat character. Here you're going to want to cut your event tick _2. Open up the begin play and tick collapsed graph. Add a pin to the sequence here. And just paste the event tick down here. And connect this pin to the collapsed node. It will add a pin there. And open it up and make sure you connect this here. And in here, let's see. We can refresh this one. Erase the is sprinting. Duplicate this greater than or equal to node here. Connect the top pin that says 0 to the vector length. And set the value here to 650. I believe the max walk speed on the character is 600, and when running, I think it goes up to 750 or 800. So as long as it's over 650, it will return true that it is sprinting. And then the player will get a bit more XP, because I've set it here so if it is sprinting, you'll get whatever your agility level is plus 10 as experience. So if your agility level was 7, you'd get 17 XP every time that ticked. And if it was 7 and you were just walking, you would get 9 XP every time it ticked. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and open the HUD widget real quick. So go to the widgets folder in the advanced RPGs, and let's go to HUD, open the HUD, WB HUD. Let's highlight the horizontal box here and the bonus XP amount, text bonus XP, and the percent. Right click and copy. Now we're going to open up our dynamic combat system, widgets, in-game widget. And just paste it on your canvas panel here. That did not move over right, that's kind of odd. There we go. So I just had to move that 0 over 1 by clicking on it and clicking the arrow. I don't know if yours will do that or not. It usually doesn't. Oh, it was already messed up like that. That might be why. Well, I'll have to fix that. Or I might have just done that, actually. Okay, but since we've got that pasted over there, oh, actually we do need the HUD widget still. In the event graph, we want to get our update bonus XP amount text and just copy this whole thing here. Go to the WB in-game widget, go to the graph, and just paste it there. Now let's go back to our BP combat character. Just right click in the graph and type in game. Spell it right might help. get in-game widget, and let's see if we can drag this over. No. So from the in-game widget, we're going to want to set bonus XP amount. If you hold control, you can drag these pins over to this new node here. Just drag all of these over, or just reconnect them, either way. And replace all of those and get rid of this old node here. And the old variable. And you can just duplicate this. And do the same down here. Compile and save. Okay, so that part is set up now. Compile and save. Let's... Okay, we do need to change this to another key. For now, I will just put it on the P key. I usually use P for pause. I think it's also saved by default in DCS. Now let's test that out real quick. Okay, so we got our thing showing up, but it's not showing any numbers or anything on here quite yet. Okay. Now let me check quickly in here if there's anything else we needed from this. Let's go ahead and open the movement events. And let's move over this crouch, because in the next video, part 2, I will be implementing the crouch and some of the special attacks and stuff. And it'll just be easier if we move this over now instead of having to create it then. So let's copy this and go to BP combat character. And I'm just going to paste it right here for now. You guys can put it anywhere you'll remember it. Maybe a separate collapse graph for the skills stuff. Or this would actually fit right into the movement. Once we're done with it, I'll probably stick it into the movement here. So instead of creating this, right now I'm just going to delete it. And we'll have that there to remind us. So this, we would actually want to, well, we're not going to actually change that quite yet. We'll be changing that next time. It'll be fine like that for now. It's not going to hurt nothing because it's not plugged in anywhere. Okay. None of that we need. Let's open up the combat events. We do not need the stun. We don't need that. So let's just highlight the 3 special attack collapse graph down here. This is all we're going to move over because that's all we'll actually be using. So go ahead and copy all of those and paste them inside the combat character. Let's open them up quickly and disconnect the events here, or just the main event, so that it's not firing stuff off. Actually, we need to disconnect all 3, I think. Let's see what these errors are. Okay, we're gonna delete that. Disconnect this one. Okay, we're going to create this variable here because we're going to be using that later on. Or actually, let's just disconnect these for now. Because in case someone's not going to be doing the rest of them, they're not going to want to create these variables. So we'll go ahead and disconnect them. Just put that to remind me what was there. Alright, now we can get out of this. The reason why we're moving all this stuff over is because if we're going to be using these later to set up these attacks, I've got a shortcut for setting up everything else, but we need to actually delete this character. And so we won't be able to pull any of that stuff out later on. So we're just going to grab it now. And I think that is all that we need from here. Let's make sure. Okay, I almost forgot one thing. We need the add bonus XP function here. So go ahead and just click on this twice slowly, or right click it and rename it, and copy the name. Go to your BP combat character, add a function, and paste the name down. Go back to your advanced RPG skills character and copy everything besides the first node here, and paste it in the new function. Connect the sequence here, and then connect the integer here, connected on the bottom of the plus integer. Connect that to the add bonus XP. And we'll name that bonus XP %. To add. Okay. Now we take the duration one, add that into the begin function node there, and go ahead and name that time limit or duration, and that'll be how long the bonus XP lasts. You can set these on the pickup items for the bonus XP in the level. Once you place it in the scene, you tell it what amount to add, how long for it to last. Okay, and now that should be everything we need out of here now. Yep. So we can go ahead and close all of this stuff here that we have open. We're going to, if you haven't opened this up already over here, go ahead and open it up with this button here. Right click on the content folder and fix up redirectors in folder. Just in case you've got some redirectors, it sometimes causes some issues here. And save all. Now I've noticed it usually helps if we close the project at this point and reopen it. I'm going to go ahead and pause it for a second while it reopens. Okay, once your project has opened back up, go into the Advanced RPG Skills, Blueprints, Character Blueprint. Go ahead and delete the character, but do not force delete the character when the screen pops up. So here you want to replace references and find your BP combat character, or whichever character is your main character for your game, the main player blueprint, and replace references. Hit OK. Okay, it's possible to get this error from it. If so, just go ahead and exit out. Click the X on all three of them, and we want to save all. And go ahead and close and reopen the project one more time. Okay. When it reopens, you'll see this is black here. Go ahead and try to delete it again. And replace references again with BP combat character. And this time it's going to let us actually delete it the right way and save selected. And so this way, if we actually get it to delete there and replace references, we don't have to go into all of our blueprints and change the cast nodes. They will just change all on their own. And any player references that have been set, stuff like that. So now what we want to do is, let's try out one of the actually we're going to want to open up the dynamic combat system, blueprints, AI, base AI. We're going to search for the take damage function, or interface, I mean. One second, I'm going to take a look at this real quick so I can refresh my mind on it. So I'm going to go ahead and try to, actually no, we're not going to be able to use that. My bad. I was hoping that'd work. Okay, so I had just realized why I put it here, and that's because the melee collision handler kind of worked backwards from what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking about it right. And so we had to put it actually in the AI instead of the player. I might try to go through and see if there's any other place to put it, but it seemed to work just fine here, so we're going to go ahead and just put it in here. And what we want to do is we need to cast to our combat character. Just get player character. And you can right click and convert this to a pure cast. From the as BP combat character, you want to get equipment. And from the equipment variable, you want to get combat type. And from the combat type, go ahead and type switch and switch on E combat type. If you hold control and drag the mouse pin from here, you can click and drag this over to here or just reconnect it. Now from the as BP combat character, we're also going to get the advanced skills component. and drag out from this and type add experience. Go and plug this into the on-armed and the melee. So let's get the stats manager from the components tab here. Drag out from this and get recent. We want to get recently received successful damage. So that way if they block the hit, you're not going to get any XP because there's not going to be any successful damage there. Because we're going to base the XP you get on the amount of damage you do. That way it kind of auto scales itself as you level up, because we're also going to make it to where your damage on your certain combat type goes up depending on your level for that combat type. So that way, as it takes more XP to level up, you'll also make more XP. But it still goes at a rate to where it becomes much harder at higher levels. So let's go ahead and plug this directly into the add melee XP. And then we also want to drag off and just hit the slash, the one that is one left from the right shift key, and get a float divided by float. We're going to divide this by 2, so that we'll get half of that amount as strength XP. Because the way I've set it up, strength levels up on any combat type that you level up, but it's only going to level at half the amount. And I've actually put it to half the amount for melee, but we're going to do like a bit less of that amount that the player will get for magic and range. Because for magic, you more would use like intellect or intelligent, some other skill like that, and range probably dexterity. And those wouldn't be hard to add on here. I'll also do a tutorial on adding new skills, so it's very easy. Okay. So now we can duplicate this. Let's drag all of this over to the left a little bit. We'll clean this up here in just a second. Duplicate it one more time. And connect the range to the second one here, and the magic to the third one. Make sure you connect the targets to the advanced skills variable. Connect this directly to the add range XP and the add magic XP on the second node. Range, so melee, range, magic. And here we're going to divide float by float. We'll do 4. We'll divide it by 4 for the range strength. And 6 for the magic strength. So you get much less strength for the magic, because the bow really could give you more strength because you've got to actually pull the string back and whatnot if you really want to think about it that much. In magic, you don't need much strength at all. Just magical ability. So we'll plug that into the add strength XP there. And for testing, if you want to, you don't have to add this part in. We're just going to add some print strings so that we can tell which combat type is being fired off and when, just to be sure. So off the first one, we will go melee. Off the second one, range. And on the third one, magic. Okay. Now if you guys want the damage text in here, we're going to set up the damage text here. If you don't want the damage text that comes with it, that pops up on the screen, it's just from the RPG samples, or the action RPG sample. Then go ahead and just ignore this part here. If you do want the value that pops up when you hit enemies, then just plug this in like I am about to. So just right click and create widget. And set the widget to the WB damage float text. Drag off from the return value and update damage. Drag off from the return value again and add to viewport. Now we're going to want to get the stats manager from here and get our recently received successful damage again. Plug this into the in text on the update damage. And it's already set up in the widget to convert it to a negative amount, so it has a minus sign in front of it. Now from the stats manager here, we also want to reset recently received damage. Now I'm going to highlight this part here separately. So I'll highlight all of this stuff here and right click and collapse nodes. We're going to name that spawn damage floating text. If you plug one of these print strings here into that, you can then connect all of them to it. Open it up and connect the input. Let's connect this to the output. Okay, let's actually disconnect these here. My bad, we don't want those connected there. We're going to highlight all of this here now and right click, collapse nodes, add XP on hit. This is for if you want to add XP per hit. Some people won't even want to add the XP per hit. I really should have specified that first. If not, we're also going to be doing the damage on death, which is a lot simpler to do. So we can go ahead and just connect this now to this graph here to create a pin. And we can connect the end of this one to our end of the function here. Alright, so that should calculate for the damage on hit now. Let's test it out quickly. Okay, let's go ahead and open these up so we can fix them. Let's see what's wrong in here. I'm going to open all of them up. I think it's just references we have to recreate. Forgot about that part. The HUD we shouldn't need, but oh well. Alright, so we'll start with the HUD then, just to get the error out of the way. So go ahead and click the error here. Okay, so actually we can just disconnect this because we are not going to be using this at all, or the stamina one. And now we can close the HUD. See, for the harvestable tree, alright, so what I've done for the harvestable trees when I fix them is, instead of using the damage trigger from the RPG thing, because we didn't move that over from the character, I created a axe weapon, and on that specific axe weapon on the display item, I just placed a box collision, and that box collision is what I called and replaced here. So we'll be doing that in the next video also. We'll be setting up the harvestables, both the tree and the mining. For now, we're just going to get the skills working for the combat. So let's go ahead and disconnect this for now, see if that helps. There we go. And we will come back to the harvestables. The range projectile we are not going to be using. Go ahead and just disconnect it. Magic projectile we are not using. Disconnect the event. Both events. Close that down. Let's see. The base NPC, we won't be using the base NPC either. So we can also just break these. There's some stuff you can take from the base NPC, or you can set them up to work with DCS. We may also do that in another video too. I'm going to try to make a whole series of videos for this. So there should be enough to merge every piece of it easily. I'd say 3 videos we can do all of the core parts of it. Okay. Let's go ahead and just keep compiling through there until you break all the events that are connected to the errors there. And close that down. Break the event here. We'll be setting up the fairy sprite. Well, that's part of the magic special attack. Oh, I should have checked that. Okay. Harvestable tree we'll be coming back to. It looks like it's already fixed. Oh, we already disconnected it. The ANS can damage. This we will actually be using, I believe, for the harvestables. Maybe not though. I think I'm going to look and see if there's a way I can just make them work with the melee collision handler in DCS. So this will also be coming back to because it may or may not need to be used for the harvestables. Oh, we do need to fix that though, my bad. So we're just going to disconnect it for now because we're not going to be using it. And the player stat component we are also not using. So we'll go ahead and just break the events here. And just compile and find your events that are all containing errors. And close that down. There's the harvestable rock. We'll come back to that one also. And in the advanced skills, we are using this one. So we do need to actually fix this. So we're going to click on the player reference here and see it's set to object. We want to set that to BP combat character. Change variable type. And it'll break some references, but it's no problem. They're not hard to fix. Go ahead and go to your begin play and reconnect this here. Refresh this and compile. And now we've got a list of our broken variables here. We can just click on each one and reconnect them. But here, we're actually just going to delete this because this is pertaining to the stat component and we do not need that. So just delete all of this here, except for the output node, but that won't let you delete it. And here's where you would add certain things that you unlock every 10 levels. And let's erase the agility ones also, because we'll have to make new ones dependent on the combat character, not the other character. And this one we can just replace. These we will be replacing with the DCS stuff. So if you wanted to add something here, you would just grab your player reference. And let's say if you were going to add to max health, modify health. Oops. Modify stat, extended health. And then you can modify your health that way. You'd actually be add modifier is the one you'd want to use if you're trying to add permanent health, I believe. And then you do the same thing for stamina. Instead of extended health, it would be extended stamina. And then modify stat. Or add modifier. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that up to you guys how you plug those in. If you wanted to bypass them for now, you just replace, just kind of skip right past them there with that one. I think that was the only one, yep. So that's the only one connected. And then you can just delete them. Alright. So now let's save all. And now let's test it out if there's no more errors. Good. So let's pull up our skills menu. And you'll see the melee and the strength both increased. And in the top left corner, it's telling us that our melee is being used. And notice now it's getting progressively harder to level up. It starts going a lot more. It might be best to set the levels up a little bit. I set them a little low just for more testing purposes and also just to make it feel for the player like they're really leveling up a lot at the beginning, and later on it kind of increases at a nice rate to where you have to really work to go from like level 80 to 90. It would take quite a while. Alright, let's test out the range. Yep, now we're getting range XP and strength. And when he's blocking, we're not getting anything. And magic. And as you can see, we're not getting our agility XP. So we will look and figure that one out. So let's open the combat character. Event graph. We're going to go to our event tick here. Let's see. Why is it not adding? I'm going to go ahead and throw a print string in here. Did I put that on the begin play? I did, didn't I? You guys noticed and you didn't even tell me. I'm just kidding. You couldn't have told me. Yep. My bad. So go ahead and break that. Remove that pin. And just connect this to the event tick instead. I'm going to make a new sequence. There we go. Now our bonus XP should work and our agility should upgrade. Oh yeah, we don't need that ticking anymore. Alright, so you'll see as we move around, there we go, our agility is increasing. We can click on it here and we can see our amount and the amount that we need to level up. And you can note your upgrades here, what the player will get for upgrading it. If you start running, we're going to get an increased amount because we're going over that speed we set. I can't really notice much if there's a difference there. I may have to play with the speed there because I may have been a bit off on the running speed and the walking speed. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the bonus XP. So the timer level up zone is just for demo purposes. If you stand on it, it's going to continuously level you up to whatever amount you set. This one will just give you XP on overlap. And then these two are the bonus XP ones. So let's drag this one out. This is the one we'll want to use because it's just a blank one. If you just drag it out into your scene, it will have an error. Let's open that up real quick. Okay, so alright, the error here is because I named something differently. So we're just going to have to replug that in right there, and refresh this, and we should be good. Okay. So now it'll show the particle there. And in the details here, you got the add bonus XP %, the duration, and whether or not it respawns, and the respawn time for if it does respawn. And if it does respawn, you have to set a class for, because it destroys itself, so you have to set it to actually spawn a new blueprint. That is what this one here is for. It's set to be plugged into here as the amount 250 to respawn there. So we will set this to, let's say, 1000 so we can see a noticeable difference in it. And we'll set it for 45 seconds. We'll say it does respawn after 5 seconds. Actually, after 45 seconds because that's how long it's going to last. And for the respawn class, I'll just leave it on this one. Okay, let's check. Oh yeah, that one's got the wrong name in it also, so we just have to do the same thing and reconnect that. And refresh. Alright, so now you see in the top left corner it says bonus XP 0%. If we overlap it, it goes up to 1000%. Now if I were, oh yeah, my agility is going up really fast. And if I hit something, I'm getting an insane amount of XP from it. I'll try to kill this guy. I just noticed something here. The AI was not getting stunned, and the reason why is because I forgot to open this and plug these into the output here. And also it was not spawning the damage text. So go ahead and just plug this in if you didn't already notice that. And now it should go from that one to the next one and actually return a successful hit. There we go. And it tells us our damage with it. So every time we level up, we're getting 1000% of what we would normally get. Okay, let's see what else we can go over here. I'm going to keep this under an hour if I can, so let's just do one more thing. And then I will do a next video tomorrow morning, maybe even tonight. So there'll be one more video for the interactables. I actually might do the interactables and the harvestables in the same video. And that will be pretty much all we'll need. After that, I'll probably do an extra video on using the NPC if we want to. Some of the combat items, like the special attacks and stuff. So there will be 2 more videos. And then some basic tutorials on adding more skills and stuff after that. Okay, so actually, alright, I know what we can do real quick. We'll add the XP on death also. So let's go into the dynamic combat system, blueprints, AI, go to the base AI, and we're going to navigate to the death function. At the end of the death function here, we're going to want to either get player character and cast a character, or we can also get component by class and set the target as get player character. Here you want to set the advanced skills, and from the return value, add experience. And if you wanted to scale the experience still on the combat type, all you need to do is just grab the stats, or sorry, my bad. Grab the equipment component, get combat type, switch on e-combat type, and we're actually, let's just go to our function we were just in, and let's copy and paste it over, because that's going to be much easier. We'll leave that here because let's show another way we can do it. That way you guys know both ways to do it. Actually, let's replace this one with the cast. That's what I was meaning to do earlier that I kind of forgot what I was doing. So we'll go ahead and paste that here. Oh wait, no, we do need the cast there for the equipment, I think. Yeah, we do. I wasn't thinking about that. So we are going to have to actually use the cast. Okay, so let's plug all, or let's highlight everything here. Besides, not the print strings. Actually, we can get rid of those now. We don't even need them. Let's just make sure all of these, the ends of them, need to be connected to the output. That way, no matter which one it fires off, it will always still go to the output. So we're going to set a set amount of damage instead of get the amount of damage we had done, because that's going to fit better for the deaths. That way you'll be able to set a certain amount per enemy. So let's go ahead and highlight everything besides the floats down here and the recently received damage, and copy it. And then let's go back to our death event, and let's paste it here. Go ahead and erase these two because we can't use those. You can use those anytime you're trying to add XP, but you don't have to call to find the character's combat type. And here, if we just create a new variable, name it XP given to, no, let's just put XP on death. That's enough. Change it to float. And drag that out here. Make sure it is instance editable. Or also expose on spawn if you plan to be spawning enemies and setting their XP amounts that way. And go ahead and just connect this to the add melee XP, add range XP, and add magic XP. And you can choose whether you want to or not put a modifier and plug it into the strength XP also, or if you want to just do melee, or you can just add strength depending on what you want. Maybe you could have a special skill that upgrades only when you kill bosses or certain enemies, or kill any enemy. Depends on what you want to do for your game, I guess. So this should be enough right here. I'm going to set the base value of this to 500. But any enemy in the scene now from base AI, you should be able to click on them, or when you place them, you'll see the XP on death amount. And you can change it for a specific enemy this way. So if we set this one to 50,000, we will get a huge amount of XP when this person dies there. So first let's do this one just so we can see the difference in it. Alright, so we still got our big boost in XP there. It boosted us from level 3 to level 6. Now we're going to be leveling up a bit slower from this guy. But when he dies, we're going to get 50,000 XP. So that's going to take us up quite a few levels on the melee. There we go, see level 30. And now if I were to use melee, you'll notice that it's going to be much harder to level up than it was. See, we're only getting a very small amount of XP there now when we hit him. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and leave the video there for right now. And we'll do another on the harvesting, and then another on adding the special attacks. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Goodbye. Oh, that's not how I end the video.